posterior. Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's do our little warm up if you want to. Do body mind centering. All right, I guess I gotta put myself in the. Uh, spin. Oh, for some reason my video's not working. I'll start video. I don't know why it has to say that.
There you are.
Yeah, but it won't put me in the main place. Oh, there I am. I have to hit twice. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I guess I should read a few of my poems, huh? Sorry. I came home at
Got a glass.
5:30. Came home at 5:30 and put my head down and immediately was gone.
Don't forget your glasses.
Let's see.
John, don't forget your glasses.
Glasses. Hey, look, they're actually here. I read all these. Let's read this one again. Meaning. Today I can't find a pen, so I'm using my carpenter's pencil. Its strong rectangular shape is a little clunky to write with. It's made to create straight lines for the saw to cut along. But in my mind it is connecting two worlds. And who's to say a poem is any different from a well-made deck? Or the truly sublime shape of a Shaker chair? Or for that matter, a glorious cathedral? In beauty, we can feel spirit even in the physical. It echoes down through history. The other day, I saw an ancient mosaic floor unearthed in an archaeological dig. People have forever put their soul into building things that represent our longing for meaning. So perhaps it's fitting I write a poem today with my carpenter's pencil. For the heart of truth lies somewhere in the intersection of form and spirit. And seeing eternity can be felt even in this temporary body.
My temporary body has just about had it.
Yeah. Sometimes mine feels like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Let me read this one. I don't think I read this one. Home. This is in 5 parts. Number 1. I've been searching everywhere for the light lost, the time I knew why I'm here. All in the same something.
Yeah.
Home. Number one. I've been searching everywhere for the light lost, the time I knew why I'm here. Year after year I'm looking. Then with a sigh I let go and unexpectedly am there. I realize it's not a time or place. A moment opens up inside me, and God, who I've been seeking out there, is here inside me. I know we'll never be parted again. But out of habit I want to write about it. Then I'm the old one writing a poem about the past. Number two. Driven by the urges of the moon, the wave climbs out of the flat ocean. It reaches and reaches until it is filled with light. But obeying the laws of earth, it begins to fall, crashes down into the remains of mountains, crashes down into the broken shells of lives lost, recedes into the dark dreams below. Well, that's not a bad section. Breathe. Number three. I took my brother's ashes to his beloved beach, and as I released him back to earth, I was surprised they weren't ashes at all, but the ground-up remains of his bones. That which couldn't burn. The ocean breeze blew some of the dust into my face. I inhaled some of my brother, dust to dust. Time takes what is its own. Light keeps shining on the waves. Number four. The salmon living in the wide ocean feel the urge to return, to swim up the wide rivers to the narrow creeks of their birth, past fishermen and hungry bears, over tumbling cataracts. Their desire pushes them forward, or is it backwards? It is this desire that is the lifeblood of existence, a combination of love and destiny, urgency and wonder. Number five. The poet puts down his pen for a moment, knowing he forgets in order to remember. The great cycling of the universe purrs like some great engine. There will always be a beginning and an ending in time. This very constancy shows us the timeless is our real home.
The one about where you inhaled your brother, that reminded me that today is my late husband's birthday, and I have his ashes here.
Oh, yeah. That was
I
one
didn't.
brother. I have another brother sitting in an urn in my living room.
Yeah, that's where his is. Right, his ashes are in my living room, and I didn't spread them anywhere.
I was
I
gonna
have a yeah.
I was gonna bring up my other brother outside too, but he didn't. He liked to be inside, so I kind of felt like I should just keep him inside.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Let's read one more of mine. This is William Carlos Williams. I'm sitting at the counter of Pete's Coffee, looking out at the outside tables. In my hands is a poetry book by William Carlos Williams, the great modernist poet from the 50s. I wonder how many people sharing photos from their iPhones have heard of him. I feel in two worlds. Drinking the strong coffee Alfred Pete brought to this country years ago. My neighbor at the counter is drinking a mocha made with oat milk. I imagine the early Pete's drinkers at the original Pete's on Walnut Street in Berkeley discussing the poetry of WCW, how he revolutionized the new poetry without rhyme and meter. Now he's yellowed pages in a used bookstore, famous for his Zen-like poem about red wheelbarrows and chickens. Being a doctor, he saw his share of human misery, and being a keen observer of the existential angst of the human condition, he wrote about it all. The people I'm watching sharing videos inwardly carry those same uneasy thoughts. The stories don't really change. Not for us wearing our microfiber running outfits, Or old WCW, who I picture with a cigarette and a glass of scotch, wearing a tweed coat that smells like my grandfather. I like that one. It's no wonder I often look at the sky, yearning for that time before all these stories were written. Okay, well, that's enough of mine. Glenda, you sent me something. Let's see. Barbara says she has a patient and she's going to listen later. Here we go. This is the latest by Glenda. It's called Maybe. Maybe I'll wake tomorrow and remember what I did today. Maybe I'll drink my coffee. Maybe it will be icy and sweet. Maybe I'll finish a book I've been lost in. Maybe I'll ride my bike, look up where the stars are born. Maybe when I think of death, death is thinking of me. Maybe death is a hesitant finger, and maybe life is a clock with no hands. Maybe the rain will wash away the clouds. Maybe the clouds just smile at the rain. Maybe the day will be full of wind and sun. Maybe I'll smile as I watch a hungry squirrel. Maybe I'll write another line of this poem. Maybe I won't.
That whole poem was based on the last line.
Yeah, maybe I won't. Yeah. You said you were being whimsical. It was whimsical. Cool. That's right. I was thinking of writing one of those poems with starting with the same word, and I didn't get around to it.
You were busy sleeping.
Yeah. I actually went and did a job today. I hardly ever do that anymore. Well, let's see. I didn't prepare any poetry because I fell asleep. Let's see. I just got some poetry books. I'll read some of Brenda. I'll read some of your friends' poetry.
Okay. Nice.
Melanie Green, yeah. This one's called Iris. The bud opens like a woman rising out of water. Night, river of cobalt blue, softens around us, a thrum of color. I lean toward you and open the dark, reach deep as the other side of the world. Wind like a child's hum, irises bow to the stars. For one stuttering light to touch me, I would get on my knees. What is there to love if we cannot love what is in front of us? You remind me I was a child picking dandelions, stringing necklaces. Now we need every stem of light for our footsteps, our hands cupped together for water, for desire, for what is taken away.
Hmm.
Again, she contracted that chronic fatigue early in her life. Even when it rains. Today, cutting daffodils from the untended garden next to the garage, grasping wet stems in my hand. How easily they were bent to crushed. Sizing long stems to the height of my joy, and trumpeting yellow, I had to gather in to be mine. Choosing a vase, I picked a sky gray pitcher, speckled with brown, the broken handle glued back on. From the untended garden inside me, the yellow whispers, Are you remembering what you love?
I love that.
I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
The untended garden inside me.
Yeah, that's a nice line, isn't
Yeah.
it? I think my insides feel like a patch of weeds these days. Oh, I just opened to the pretty one that I like a lot. This one by Machado. Last night. Last night, as I was sleeping, I dreamt marvelous error that a spring was breaking out in my heart. I said, along which secret aqueduct, O water, are you coming to me? Water of a new life that I have never drunk. Last night, as I was sleeping, I dreamt marvelous error that I had a beehive here in my heart, and the golden bees were making white combs and sweet honey from my old failures. Last night, as I was sleeping, I dreamt marvelous error that a fiery sun was giving light inside my heart. It was fiery because I felt warmth as from a hearth, and sun because it gave light and brought tears to my eyes. Last night, as I slept, I dreamt marvelous error that it was God I had here inside my heart. I love that poem.
Hmm.
I never quite understood what marvelous error is, but
Who's poem like that?
that's Antonio Machado,
Oh, okay.
Spanish poet from, I guess, around the same time as Lorca and those people.
Uh-huh.
I think a marvelous error informs a lot of the things that you do in your life. If you think about it, because like my husband and I, he was a problem child, but he was marvelous. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm there were times when I thought maybe I had made a mistake, but you know, even if he was a mistake, he was a marvelous mistake.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good reading of Marvelous Error. The two words shouldn't go together, but they do.
Mhm.
Well, here's another one by Machado called Portrait. My childhood is memories of a patio in Seville and a garden where sunlit lemons are growing yellow. My youth, 20 years on the earth of Castile. What I, what I lived, a few things you'll forgive me for omitting. A great seducer I was not, nor the lover of Juliet. The oafish way I dress is enough to say that. But the arrow Cupid planned for me, I got, and I loved whenever women found a home in me. A flow of leftist blood moves through my body, and my poems rise from a calm and deep spring. There is a man of rule who behaves as he should, but more than him I am, in the good sense of the word, good. I adore beauty, and following contemporary thought, have cut some old roses from the garden of Ronsard. But the new locations and feathers are not for me. I am not one of the blue jays who sing so well. I dislike hollow tenors who warble of love, and a chorus of crickets singing to the moon. I fall silent so as to separate voices from echoes, and I listen among the voices to one voice and only one. Am I classic or romantic? Who knows? I want to lead my poetry as a fighter leaves his sword, known for the masculine hand that closed around it, not for the coded mark of the proud forger. I talk always to the man who walks along with me, Men who talk to themselves hope to talk to God someday. That's a good line. My soliloquies amount to discussions with this friend who taught me the secret of loving human beings. In the end, I owe you nothing. You owe me what I've written. I turn to my work. With what I've earned, I pay for my clothes and hat, the house in which I live, the food that feeds my body, the bed in which I sleep. And when the day arrives for the last leaving of all, and the ship that never returns to port is ready to go, you'll find me on board light with a few belongings, almost naked like the children of the sea. Wow. That could be talking about me. The oafish way I dress. Here's one by Rilke, Theodore Rilke. I think he was kind of an oafish type too. The Waking. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I feel my fate in what I cannot fear. I learn by going where I have to go. We think by feeling, what is there to know? I hear my being dance from ear to ear. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. Of those so close beside me, which are you? God bless the ground, I shall walk softly there, and learn by going where I have to go. Light takes the tree, but who can tell how? The lowly worm climbs up the winding stair. I wake to sleep, take my waking slow. Great nature has another thing to do, to me and you, to you and me. So take the lively air, and lovely learn by going where to go. Learn by going where to go. This shaking keeps me steady, I should know. What falls away is always and is near. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a kind of a repeater poem. That one line repeating over and over. Here's one by Goethe. The holy longing. Tell a wise person or keep silent, because the masked man will mock it right away. I praise what is truly alive, what longs to be burned to death. In the calm water of the love nights, where you were begotten, where you have begotten, a strange feeling comes over you when you see the silent candle burning. Now you are no longer caught in the obsession with darkness, and a desire for higher lovemaking sweeps you upward. Distance does not make you falter, now, arriving in magic, flying and finally, insane for the light, you are the butterfly and you are gone. And so long as you have experienced this, to die and so to grow, you are only a troubled guest on the dark earth. That could be for all of us. You are only a troubled guest on the dark earth.
That is true.
Let's see. Here's one called Cherries by somebody named Joe Lamb. Whoever that is. Cherries. When I was 5, we lived in Tusuke, I don't know where that is, in a mud house with walls 2 feet thick. I dreamt I was perched in the top of our cherry tree. Mom and Aunt Owani paced in small circles far below. Cupping their hands, they yelled, "Come down, you'll fall." I watched the wind billow their long dresses and soared to a taller tree. When I was 30, I remembered this dream. When I was 35, I remembered the cherries were thick, sweet, and yellow.
Hmm.
And here's one by Rilke from childhood. The darkness in the room was like enormous riches. There the child was sitting wonderfully alone, and when the mother entered, as if in a dream, a glass quaked in the silent china closet. She felt it, how the room was betraying her, and kissed the child, saying, "Are you here?" Then both looked toward the piano in fear, and often at evening they would have a song in which the child found himself strangely caught. He sat stone still, his great gaze hung upon her hand, which, totally bowed down by the ring, walked over to the white keys, as if plowing through deep drifts of snow. Here's one called Mother and Son by somebody named Alden Nowlin. She goes on with her story, this woman, whose 12-year-old son has drifted into the party. Her mind is still with the gifts, but her flesh has claimed possession of his. She pushes his hair back from his eyes, curls a lock of it around her finger, while continuing to entertain us with her wit. The touch of her hand embarrasses him, but only a little. He shrugs slightly. That is all. Now she smiles at him, as if conscious of his presence for the first time. It's a loving smile, of course not altogether a friendly one. There is a pride in that smile, and a sense of power, even a hint of cruelty. She's a normal parent. She pinches his earlobe now, plays with the buttons on his shirts, taking with us all the while. He wriggles for an instant and then surrenders, half gratefully, half resentfully to her caresses. They both know she's stronger, that she'll be the stronger for a while yet, that he couldn't break away from her, even if he could make up his mind that that's what he wants, that it's what he wants. All right, let's see. I think it's Mary time. What do I got? What Mary do I have? Blue horses. On meditating, sort of. Meditation, so I've heard, is best accomplished if you entertain a certain strict posture. Frankly, I prefer to just lounge under a tree. So why should I think I could ever be successful? Some days I fall asleep or land in that even better place, half sleep, where the world, spring, summer, autumn, winter, flies through my mind in its hearty ascent and its uncompromising descent. So I just lie like that, while distance and time reveal their true attitudes. They never heard of me, and never will, or ever need to. Of course, I wake up finally, thinking how wonderful to be who I am, made out of earth and water, my own thoughts, my own fingerprints, all that glorious temporary stuff. And one last one from Mary. To be human is to sing your own song. Everything I can think of. This is one of those sad ones. No, okay. To be human is to sing your own song. Everything I can think of that my parents thought or did, I don't think and I don't do. I opened windows, they shut them. I pulled open the curtains, they shut them. If you get my drift. Of course, there were some similarities. They wanted to be happy, and they weren't. I wanted to be showy, and I wasn't. I don't mean I didn't have to avoid imitation. The gloom was pretty heavy. But then for me, there was the forest, where they didn't exist, and the fields, where I learned about birds and other sweet tidbits of existence. The song sparrow, for example. In the song sparrow's nest, the nestlings, those who would sing eventually, must listen carefully to their father bird as he sings, and make their own song in imitation of his. I don't know if any other bird does this in nature. Nature's way has to do this. But I know a child doesn't have to, and I didn't. She had pretty crappy parents, apparently. Well, Brenda and Glenda and Ellen, it's been nice to talk with you.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Ellen says all lovely, including the nap. Cool. Okay, well, this was fun. I'm sorry I was a little dingy tonight, but that's okay.
Right. Hey, it's a badge.
Yeah, really. Okay, guys, it's been lovely. I'll see you all next week.
See you next week. Thanks.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.